So today we're going to cover the leg extension, sorry, my bad. And I want to go through the major points that will help you be a better leg extender. So you got a picture here of the leg extension. Every leg extension is made differently, and at some point we will go through the differences between them and give you a bit of a cheat guide on how to manage them. But effectively, you are looking for two things when you are starting these exercises. When you look at the leg extension, you are looking for where the axis of the movement is. So effectively, where the leg thingy that you kick is rotating from. It's super essential that you have your knees on that line. So you will see here, I am circulating around with my mouse around this shiny little object here, which is the axis of rotation. That is the bit that is where your knee needs to be to make it really effective or at all non-problematic. If you don't have your knees in the line of against that silver axis, if it's too far in front or too far behind, you're going to find that your joint, your patella, your bones, they take more of the muscle tension or the weight instead of the muscles. Because that is an exercise, you're in a machine, and if you don't navigate the machine appropriately, you're going to then come up with those issues of not utilizing the muscle, but actually utilizing the joints and the bones, which is just not a great position. To ensure that you have this axis of rotation nailed, we're going to call it axis of rotation because that's what it is, technical term. You move the back bench, so you can pull out the lever here, which you can see on my screen, and you can move that backwards so that your bum slides backwards and that your knee then rests on the same line as the axis of rotation. That is going to be critical part number one. Second is where your foot position is going to be. So for some reason, this little bar thing is going to be here, so it's going to be a bit of an issue. Is effectively where this line is here, where the grey silver thing is underneath. I'm going to just play the video and you can see it. You can see me getting in. Let's see. And I've got my ankles against this pad. You want your ankles, not your feet, to be against the pad. Now, here's a nice little trick. If you have knee issues, if you're in a position where you don't want your joints, not don't want, but you're concerned or have had prior issues, the higher you raise that pad up the shin, the less forces that will be upon the joint. It does make it less effective for your muscles of your quadricep, but if you are worried about the quad extent, the legs or the joint, then you may want to increase that height. For me, I've got joint issues, but I still put it where it needs to be, right at the bottom, because it's more effective for my quads that way. And you want that bar resting against the upper part of the ankle, if not onto the shin. Now, you're going to see me do a single leg extension. This is for me what I was doing as part of my program, but it applies for both sides. You will see that my hands and my body are locked in. I'm gripping that like it was a barbell. I'm gripping it so ensure that my butt stays against the pad. You want your butt against the pad all the way through the movement because it will stop any compensations. It stops the knees moving. And if you move the knees, if you move your joints, you're not going to be able to get the muscle contraction that you actually want. And a big thing for people to work around is going to be the cueing of exercises. It's going to be what should I think about when I'm doing my exercise? So this is what you should do for the leg extension. Grip it really tight with your hands. Pull yourself into the seat so that you're locked down. Your knees are in the right place. And all you do not think about your feet at all. Think about where your foot rests is resting against your bone. That is the point of contact that you're going to focus on throughout the whole of the movement. If you can focus on that, you will then get a better contraction. You'll be pushing against the right parts of the pad, which will mean that the machine works for you and your muscles will be taking the load. So you'll see I'm pushing against this. My foot and ankle are just like resting, like my other foot is. It is just, relaxing into that position. With a leg extension, you want to make sure that you're stopping at the bottom position and then driving up through that pad and you're getting to straight. So many people sacrifice this position because it's hard to be there, and they will put more weight on the stack. make sure that you are achieving full leg extension. So that means your leg being fully straight before coming back down, either single leg or double leg. Now, as you go through the exercise, that is going to be hard, and you'll see me really dig in towards the end of the set and really trying to get to the top. And I'm not really achieving that as I get to the end of the set, but you'll see why, because I'm literally wiping out my quads. And I'm still locked in. I'm still doing it smooth and controlled, and I'm pushing against that part of the pad. And I'm working really hard in this position. And everything else is staying locked still. No other joint moves in the whole of this exercise. And this is how you should be doing your exercises. They should be coming up slowly, but not because you are doing it slowly, but actually because your muscles are fatigued, that you're having to push them up really hard. So the other cue that you need to look at is going to be around about the knee joint. You want to make sure that your quads and your legs are pressed against the seat downwards. If you can press downwards into the seat whilst you're then pressing against this pad, so effectively you're pushing down here against the pad and then you're pushing up into this direction of the pad, that will give you the best bang for your buck. It will create a lot of stability around your knee, a lot of surface area to hold, and then it will allow you to then give you as much intensity and as much contraction into that foot position as possible. And that will be a really game changer. Even if you just start with one of the pushes, either push down into the pad here or push down into the footrest here without utilizing your feet, will be key. So they're the things that I want you to consider when looking at the leg extension. Make sure that you go to straight legged. Make sure that you're working hard so that you are working hard as that leg comes up. Make sure you're locking down into the hips. Make it hands, hips, pressing down underneath the pad of the knees, and then pushing as much as you can into the shin in where the contact is with the machine. And that would be how I would do an leg extension as best as you can.